Reading may not be able to cure mental illness or depression, but it sure can help. There are studies that prove it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about those studies and the things that they found. So we'll talk about some cool psych stuff. We'll talk about how reading can help both your mental health and your physical health. And hopefully it will encourage you to work on that. I personally read for my mental health and my own sanity, so maybe you do the same thing. In studies, fMRIs or functional MRIs have shown that during the action of reading, there is enhanced brain activity. They found that multiple parts of the brain are utilized in the action of reading. They can see all the moving parts, everything that is working when you are actually reading, and it's pretty cool. Our brains tend to understand things as if they are actually happening. So when you read a book and something happens to one of your favorite characters and you're very upset about it, inside your brain, it is like somebody has actually died. Like you've actually lost somebody that you love, which is sad and probably not great for your mental health. But there are so many other positive effects from reading, and I have a few of them. We're going to talk about like physical health and how reading can help physical health. I have explanations of how reading can help your mental health. So we're going to first talk about how reading can help your physical health. So let's get healthy together. It has actually been proven that reading can help your physical health. I have a little page of notes here. Studies have shown that reading can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and improve sleep quality. This is partly due to the chemicals that run through your brain when you are actively reading. There is more blood flow to the brain when you are doing an action such as reading, so that blood flow really helps to move your body along, put all those good things running through your body. It helps with like brain connections. All your synapses are going off in there. It can help sleep because you can get into a routine. It is a very calming activity for a lot of people. So if you start reading like one chapter before you go to bed, or you start reading for like 10 minutes before bed, then your body will start to associate that with going to bed, and it'll be a lot easier for you to fall asleep. The only problem with that is you will probably get sleepy every time you read if you do that. So maybe don't Pavlov yourself into sleeping every time you read. That might not be a good idea. Blood pressure can be reduced because of the blood flow through the brain that comes with reading. We all need to lower our blood pressure sometimes. And reducing stress also comes from that. Lowering blood pressure and lowering heart rate can calm your body down and make it so you're less stressed. Another big part of the stress reduction is the chemicals that it releases into your brain and into your body while you are reading. There's lots of good stuff that can come out. Dopamine. Everybody loves that dopamine rush. So reading can give you a nice little hit of dopamine, which calms your body, relaxes you. That will Well, that is what will kind of manage that stress, lower the blood pressure, all of that good stuff. And it can also help you with sleep. So, we all love dopamine. It does so many good things for us. I just can't talk today. What the heck? There are other things that reading can help improve, and I will talk about those next. Some studies have shown that reading can help us to develop empathy. Empathy is what really helps us connect to other people and understand the things that they are dealing with, those types of things. I don't think it can really make you sympathetic, but it can help to make you more empathetic. The reason for this is mostly the fact that you are reading from somebody else's point of view. It is not your own life. It is not your own thoughts, your own process. It is all completely somebody else's. So it kind of makes it easier to go, step into somebody else's shoes, live their life for a little bit, and it can really show you the emotions of others, like what situations make other people feel, what actions make other people feel certain ways, and that is where the empathy comes in. It makes it easier for us to look at somebody that is in a certain situation and say, oh, that is probably awful for them. You kind of start to understand that other people are dealing with things in a different way than you probably would. It's all about, being in their own mind and their own body. I don't really have the definition for empathy. I wish I had that prepared. But there are certain mental illnesses where the brain just doesn't develop empathy. I'm not sure if reading would necessarily change that for those people that have a genuine disorder, but it can be really good for growing up when your brain is first developing. Allowing children to read books seen from somebody else's point of view can help them to understand the feelings of others. It also helps them to learn different emotions, different facial expressions. All of that kind of body language can easily be taught during early development through things like books. Picture books, probably, but books nonetheless. It's also very easy for adults to read a book to children and kind of act out those emotions on their own face or in their own voices, which can really, really help kids that are still in that early development, because it puts those on to somebody that they do really care about and are really attached to. So you can help your kids by reading to them. You should definitely read to your kids. It will help them. I am 80% sure that all kids can be benefiting from having adults read to them. I don't know. Some kids are different though. You never know. Next, we'll talk a little bit about how reading releases certain chemicals into our body and what those chemicals do for us. So that'll be the big science-y part, I guess. So when you read, your brain releases endorphins that help to relax your mind, relax your body, manage stress, and it can even help manage pain. Not severe pain, obviously. It's not going to cure you of all of your pain, but reading can help to reduce and manage slight bodily pains, at least a little bit. This is due to increased blood flow, dopamine, and other endorphins that are released from our brain. the action of reading, the way that it works in our mind with, like, your brain feels like it's real. When good things happen in a book, it is going to release all those happy, calm endorphins in your body. So reading a happy book can make you happier because it is going to be interpreted as if it is happening to you. Your brain is going to release all those good chemicals. It's going to help you a whole lot. I am interested to know if reading sad books can make you more sad, but I read a lot of sad books, and so far I don't think they make me more of a sad person. Maybe I'll have to look into that. But all of these good endorphins and chemicals are what will help to reduce that pain, reduce that stress, really relax you. This can be kind of gone against. I don't know the correct word for this. I'm like at a loss today. But if the action of reading is what is causing the pain, reading is obviously not going to help that pain. Examples are, if you have a concussion, every concussion I've ever had has made it difficult for me to read because staring at just the words on the page hurt my head so bad. I'm also somebody who has chronic migraines, and there are times where I go multiple days with just persistent headaches, and reading an actual book can sometimes make that worse, I have found. But audiobooks are a thing. If you're not affected so much by sound when you have a migraine or a headache, maybe an audiobook will help you. I'm interested to see if that changes anything. I'll have to look up some studies, I guess, on this. But next is probably like the most important in my mind, and I'm going to bring us back to the past for this one. So, cannot wait. One of the biggest things that reading can do for us is it can reduce isolation. We all started to understand what it felt like to be isolated from society some years ago when we had a certain thing going around and we were all stuck at home. But there are things that you can do, even in situations like that, to help not be isolated. Perfect examples of this, I am very much a part of this, book clubs. It can be an online book club. It can be an in-person book club. Either way, you are talking to others. You are in a group that you can all relate to each other and talk about similar interests. That is always helpful. Book swaps, amazing. You get to go out and talk to people about different books and trade. They're all just ways to get you out into the community to interact with others, which is absolutely amazing for your mental health if you are somebody who does not have any, like, contradicting things going on. Like, I feel like people with agoraphobia would not benefit from leaving the house and going to these things. Maybe if they hosted in their own home, that might be good for them. But I don't think that overstressing yourself by forcing yourself to go out into the community is a good idea. Maybe don't do that. Other types of book groups, this can be from volunteering at a library or other local events. You can join special, like, book clubs or, like, exclusive things like that. There are plenty of things out there for you to look for. Libraries, just going to a library And sitting down and reading in a library can help to make you feel less isolated because you are out with other people. Even if you're not necessarily interacting with them, it is still very good for you to get out and see others. I think that's all I have. Yeah, that's all I really have on my little thing. But if you have been feeling a little down in the dumps lately, or if you just need a pick-me-up, pull out a nice happy book and read a little bit. It's good for you. And you can tell people who complain about you reading that it is good for you. And you do need to do it. So there's your excuse to read more if you needed one. This is a very chaotic and not so planned out video, so if you have made it this far, bless you. Because I'm sure it was a rough journey to get to this point. But I will see you on Monday. So happy reading. Get those endorphins going.